Most families throw away more than $1,000 in expired food every single year. In normal times, that's just wasted money. But in a crisis, it could mean the difference between having weeks of meals or going hungry. When shelves empty out and prices keep climbing, survival comes down to what's in your pantry. And most people are storing the wrong things. The good news? Some foods can last not just years, but decades if you know which ones to keep. Today, we're breaking down 10 survival foods that don't just last. They're proven to endure for decades, and wait until you see number 2, because it's hiding in plain sight and it might already be sitting in your kitchen right now. Number 7. Cases of bottled soda and sports drinks. When panic buying hits stores, families grab cases of Coke, Pepsi, and sports drinks thinking any liquid helps during emergencies. This seems logical because you need fluids to survive, but here's the deadly signs these families ignore. Sugary drinks actually dehydrate your body faster than drinking nothing while wasting precious storage space you need for real survival supplies. The dehydration mathematics reveal why soda kills during survival situations. High sugar content pulls water from your cells to dilute the sugar in your stomach, creating net fluid loss rather than hydration. Sports drinks aren't much better, containing enough sugar and sodium to disrupt proper hydration when you need maximum fluid retention for survival. But the storage disaster created by hoarding sugary drinks wastes space and attracts dangerous pests. Sticky residue from spilled soda draws ants, roaches, and rodents that contaminate your entire food storage area. Those cases of drinks take up room you could use for rice, beans, or water that actually sustains life during extended emergencies. The spoilage problem makes bottled drinks particularly useless during long-term disasters. Once opened, sodas go flat and develop bacterial growth within hours. Sports drinks separate and develop off flavors that make them unpalatable when you're already stressed. Expired drinks create stomach problems that compound survival difficulties. Caffeine dependency in sodas creates withdrawal problems exactly when you need maximum mental clarity. Coffee and tea addicts who switch to caffeinated sodas during emergencies experience headaches, irritability, and reduced cognitive function that impairs survival decision-making. Energy drinks are even worse, causing crashes that leave you exhausted when you need sustained energy. Smart preppers calculate liquid storage by water content only. Every case of soda represents space and money that could store clean water, water purification systems, or foods that actually prevent dehydration instead of causing it. The bottom line, liquid isn't liquid when survival depends on proper hydration that keeps your body functioning optimally. Number 6. Bottled water. Only with no purification backup. Drive through any suburban neighborhood during emergency preparations and you'll see garages stacked with cases of bottled water. Families spend thousands of dollars filling every available space with plastic bottles, believing they've solved their hydration needs for extended disasters. What they don't calculate is how quickly bottled water disappears and how much space this approach wastes compared to renewable water sources. Here's the brutal mathematics that bottled water hoarders ignore. Each person needs 1 gallon daily for drinking and basic hygiene. A family of 4 burns through 12 bottles per day just for drinking water. Those impressive stacks of bottled water last days, not weeks, during actual emergencies when you can't resupply from stores. The storage space disaster reveals the deeper problem with bottled water dependence. Cases of water bottles consume enormous amounts of storage area that could hold months of food supplies. You're trading long-term survival capability for short-term hydration that runs out quickly and leaves you completely dependent on finding new water sources. But the deadliest aspect of bottled water-only strategies is the helplessness created when bottles run empty. Families with no purification backup have zero ability to make contaminated water safe for consumption. When disaster-contaminated water sources become your only option, lack of purification capability equals death by dehydration or waterborne illness. The plastic degradation problem creates additional health risks during extended storage periods. Bottled water stored in hot garages develops chemical leaching from plastic containers that creates taste problems and potential health concerns. Temperature fluctuations cause plastic bottles to crack, leak, and become breeding grounds for bacteria. Transportation weight makes bottled water particularly useless if evacuation becomes necessary. Water weighs over 8 pounds per gallon, making it impossible to carry meaningful quantities when you need to move quickly. Those heavy cases become anchors that slow evacuation and force families to abandon their water supplies. What's advised is to store some bottled water for immediate needs, but invest primarily in purification systems that create unlimited clean water from any available source. Number 5. Large freezers full of meat. When prepper fever hits, families rush to warehouse stores and load chest freezers with hundreds of pounds of meat thinking they've solved their protein needs for extended emergencies. This seems smart because protein costs keep rising and meat provides essential nutrition. But here's the deadly reality. Frozen meat becomes dangerous waste when power grids fail, creating health hazards instead of life-sustaining resources. The spoilage timeline reveals why freezer meat strategies fail catastrophically during real disasters. Power outages lasting more than 24 hours start spoiling frozen meat even in well-insulated freezers. After 48 hours without power, everything in your freezer becomes unsafe to eat and starts attracting dangerous pests and bacteria. But the contamination disaster created by spoiling meat threatens your entire food storage system. Rotting meat produces toxic gases, attracts flies and rodents, and creates bacterial contamination that spreads to other stored foods. That expensive protein investment becomes a biohazard that forces you to discard other supplies and potentially abandon storage areas entirely. The false security problem with freezer meat prevents developing sustainable protein sources that actually work during extended emergencies. Families relying on frozen meat never learn preservation techniques like canning, smoking, or raising small livestock that provide renewable protein without electricity dependence. Cleanup requirements for spoiled meat create additional survival burdens when resources become scarce. Disposing of hundreds of pounds of rotting meat requires protective equipment, cleaning supplies, and waste management that become impossible when municipal services fail. The smell alone can attract unwanted attention from desperate neighbors or dangerous wildlife. The economic waste reveals how freezer meat strategies destroy prepper budgets. Hundreds or thousands of dollars worth of meat spoils within days, representing massive resource loss exactly when those funds could have purchased shelf-stable proteins that actually sustain families during disasters. The solution is to invest in canned meats, dried proteins, and preservation equipment that works without electricity, while learning skills that create renewable protein sources during extended survival scenarios. The reality check. If it needs power to stay safe, it's not survival food. If you're getting value from this, don't forget to subscribe so you always have the right information when you need it most. Number 4. Battery-powered lanterns that eat disposable batteries. Walk through any emergency supply aisle and you'll find dozens of cheap battery-powered lanterns marketed as essential survival lighting. Families buy multiple units thinking they've solved their illumination needs for extended power outages. What they discover during actual emergencies is that these battery vampires consume power so quickly that expensive battery stockpiles disappear within days, leaving families stumbling in deadly darkness. Here's the brutal mathematics that battery lantern buyers ignore. Cheap emergency lanterns drain 4 D-cell batteries in 3 to 6 hours of continuous use. Quality batteries cost $2 to $3 each, meaning every night of lighting costs $12 to $18 in disposable batteries. Extended outages bankrupt families buying batteries while providing inadequate illumination. The battery availability problem reveals the deeper flaw in disposable power strategies. During widespread disasters, batteries become impossible to find as stores sell out immediately and supply chains collapse. Families with battery-dependent lighting have no way to maintain illumination once their battery stockpiles run empty. But the performance degradation of disposable battery lanterns creates dangerous situations when reliable lighting becomes critical for safety. Dimming output gives no warning before total failure, leaving families in complete darkness while performing essential tasks like first aid, food preparation, or security monitoring. The light quality from cheap battery lanterns provides insufficient illumination for detailed work when precision becomes essential for survival. Poor light distribution creates shadows and blind spots that hide dangers, while inadequate brightness strains eyes and causes fatigue when you need maximum awareness. Storage requirements for meaningful battery supplies consume enormous amounts of space and money that could provide better lighting solutions. Hundreds of batteries needed for extended outages cost thousands of dollars, while taking up storage room needed for food and other essential supplies. Invest in LED headlamps with rechargeable batteries, hand crank lanterns, or solar-powered lighting that provides unlimited illumination without depending on disposable power sources that disappear exactly when you need light most desperately. Number 3. Guns without proper training or safe storage. When disaster anxiety peaks, families rush to gun stores believing firearms automatically provide security during social collapse. This seems logical because desperate people become dangerous. But here's the shocking reality that gun store salespeople won't tell you. Untrained firearm owners are more likely to injure family members than stop threats, while improperly stored weapons attract theft that arms the very criminals you're trying to protect against. The training deficit reveals why civilian gun ownership often creates more danger than security. Most gun buyers receive zero professional instruction beyond basic legal requirements. They can't accurately shoot under stress, don't understand proper weapon retention, and lack tactical knowledge needed to safely employ firearms during chaotic situations. Panic shooting by untrained owners kills innocent people more often than stopping actual threats. But the storage disaster created by improperly secured firearms turns your protection investment into weapons for criminals. Guns stored in cheap safes, unlocked containers, or accessible locations become theft magnets that arm burglars and home invaders. During disasters, when police response becomes delayed or impossible, stolen weapons from your home create neighborhood security threats. The family safety problems with accessible firearms create tragic accidents exactly when medical help becomes unavailable. Children find loaded weapons during stressful evacuations. Adults handle firearms carelessly while exhausted or distracted by crisis management. Domestic disputes escalate to deadly violence when weapons remain easily accessible during high-stress survival situations. Legal liability from improperly stored or used firearms creates additional problems during disasters when legal systems become overwhelmed. Insurance doesn't cover damages from negligent firearm use, and legal consequences follow families for years after crisis situations end. The maintenance requirements for firearms create additional burdens during survival scenarios when resources become scarce. Guns require regular cleaning, proper lubrication, and secure ammunition storage that becomes difficult when you're focused on basic survival needs like water and food procurement. Professional security never relies solely on firearms because experts understand that weapons require extensive training, proper storage, and backup systems to provide reliable protection. Armed security professionals spend thousands of hours developing skills that civilian gun owners never acquire. Smart preppers who choose firearms invest heavily in professional training, secure storage systems, and legal education before purchasing weapons. They understand that guns without proper training and storage create more problems than they solve during family survival situations. Number 2. Gallon jugs of gasoline stored improperly. When fuel shortage fears grip communities, families fill plastic jugs with gasoline, thinking they're securing transportation and generator power for emergencies. This seems practical because fuel becomes scarce during disasters. But here's the terrifying reality that fire departments see repeatedly. Improperly stored gasoline creates explosive hazards that destroy entire homes, while the degraded fuel becomes useless for the very emergencies it was meant to address. The degradation timeline reveals why casual gasoline storage fails catastrophically when families need fuel most. Untreated gasoline begins breaking down within 30 days, forming gums and varnishes that clog engines and prevent generators from starting. After 6 months, degraded fuel damages equipment and creates costly repairs exactly when mechanical reliability becomes essential for survival. But the fire hazard created by improper gasoline storage turns family homes into potential infernos. Gasoline vapors are heavier than air, settling in basements and low areas where any spark triggers devastating explosions. Static electricity from plastic jugs, pilot lights from water heaters, and electrical switches create ignition sources that turn stored fuel into family-killing fireballs. The container failure problem makes plastic jug storage particularly dangerous over time. Gasoline dissolves certain plastics, creating leaks that spread flammable vapors throughout storage areas. Temperature changes cause expansion that bursts containers, creating spill hazards that require hazmat cleanup during disasters when professional help becomes unavailable. The legal liability from improper fuel storage creates insurance problems that destroy families financially, even when fires don't occur. Homeowner insurance policies specifically exclude coverage for damages caused by improperly stored hazardous materials. Local fire codes prohibit residential gasoline storage beyond small quantities in approved containers. The health risks from gasoline vapors create chronic exposure problems when fuel is stored inside homes or attached garages. Benzene and other toxic compounds cause headaches, dizziness, and long-term health problems that compound during stressful survival situations when you need maximum physical and mental capacity. Professional fuel storage follows strict safety protocols, including approved containers, stabilizer additives, proper ventilation, and regular rotation schedules that most civilian preppers never implement. Commercial facilities use specialized equipment and training that civilian storage attempts can't replicate safely. Number 1. Huge stockpiles of junk food. When crisis anxiety hits, families raid grocery stores for chips, candy, cookies, and processed snacks, thinking familiar foods will provide comfort during stressful times. This emotional approach seems caring because you want family morale to remain high. But here's the devastating reality that nutritionists see during every disaster. Junk food weakens immune systems, creates energy crashes, and takes up storage space needed for foods that actually sustain life during extended emergencies. The nutritional mathematics reveal why junk food kills during survival situations. Processed snacks provide empty calories without essential vitamins, minerals, or protein needed to maintain physical strength during labor-intensive survival activities. Sugar crashes leave family members exhausted and irritable exactly when you need sustained energy for critical tasks like water procurement and security monitoring. But the storage disaster created by junk food hoarding wastes precious space that should hold life-sustaining nutrition. Cases of chips and cookies consume enormous storage volumes while providing minimal caloric value compared to rice, beans, and other survival staples. You're trading survival capacity for temporary taste satisfaction that disappears quickly. The health deterioration from junk food diets becomes dangerous when medical care becomes unavailable during disasters. High sodium levels in processed foods create dehydration and blood pressure problems. Artificial additives cause digestive issues and allergic reactions. Sugar consumption suppresses immune function when you need maximum disease resistance. The shelf life problems with processed snacks create waste and disappointment during extended storage periods. Chips go stale, candy melts or hardens, and cookies develop off flavors that make them unpalatable when you're already dealing with crisis stress. Expired junk food attracts pests and creates cleanup problems. The cost comparison reveals how junk food destroys prepper budgets while providing minimal survival value. Money spent on processed snacks could purchase months of rice and beans that actually sustain families during extended disasters. Now that you know the things you should avoid, let's reveal the first item that actually works when everything falls apart. Number 1. Portable water filter. These aren't glamorous or expensive, but they're the closest thing to magical survival gear that exists today. Here's why smart preppers consider water filtration their most important survival investment that outperforms every other emergency supply by providing unlimited clean water from any available source. The mathematical advantage destroys every other water storage strategy available to civilian preppers. One small water filter produces thousands of gallons of clean water from contaminated sources, while bottled water provides finite supplies that run out quickly. That Life Straw or Sawyer filter weighing less than 1 pound replaces hundreds of pounds of bottled water while taking up almost no storage space. The reliability factor makes portable filters absolutely essential during disasters when clean water sources disappear. Municipal water systems fail during emergencies, wells become contaminated, and bottled water becomes unavailable when you need hydration most. Portable filters work regardless of infrastructure damage or supply chain collapse. But here's what makes water filters truly critical for family survival. They provide independence from external water sources that may become controlled or contaminated during social collapse. Rivers, streams, ponds, and even questionable municipal sources become safe drinking water when processed through quality filtration systems. The versatility of portable filters adapts to any water source you can find during emergencies. Clear stream water, muddy pond water, and even questionable tap water becomes safe for consumption when properly filtered. This flexibility means you never face dehydration as long as any water source exists nearby. The maintenance requirements for quality filters remain minimal compared to complex survival equipment. Most filters require simple backflushing or replacement cartridges that extend operational life for months or years of regular use. No batteries, no power requirements, no complex procedures needed. Number 2. Multi-purpose LED headlamp with rechargeable batteries. When it comes to emergency lighting, nothing beats a solution that keeps your hands free. A rechargeable headlamp may not look tactical or flashy, but it outshines every other option in reliability, safety, and efficiency, giving you the freedom to handle survival tasks when both hands are needed most. The hands-free advantage makes LED headlamps absolutely superior to handheld flashlights during actual survival situations. You need both hands free for food preparation, equipment repair, first aid treatment, and security tasks that become impossible when you're holding a flashlight. Headlamps provide targeted illumination exactly where you're looking while leaving hands available for essential work. The battery efficiency of modern LED technology provides dramatically longer operation times compared to traditional incandescent lights. Quality LED headlamps operate for dozens of hours on single battery charges while providing brighter, whiter light that improves visibility and reduces eye strain during extended use periods. But here's what makes rechargeable LED headlamps truly essential for family survival. They eliminate dependence on disposable batteries that become impossible to find during disasters. Solar charging capability or hand crank charging provides unlimited power renewal that works regardless of grid power availability or supply chain disruptions. The durability factor makes quality headlamps reliable during harsh conditions when other lighting fails. Waterproof construction protects against rain and humidity. Impact resistance prevents damage from drops and rough handling. Temperature stability maintains operation in extreme hot or cold conditions that disable other equipment. The multiple brightness settings on modern headlamps provide flexibility for different survival situations. High output for detailed work, medium brightness for general tasks, low settings for extended operation, and red light modes for night vision preservation when stealth becomes important for security. And there you have it, 10 survival foods that can outlast decades and keep your family fed when it matters most. If you found this helpful, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next breakdown. We've got more coming on what to store, what to avoid, and the little-known hacks that can make all the difference in a crisis.